Hello, everybody. This is part two of the series that I've made making about Sargon of Akkad versus VidCon. And I think that this article mostly focuses on Sargon's fans, which I mean, being given that I watch his videos, I found it particularly a bit insulting because portrays us as a bunch of stalkers and harassers. Like, if you merely watch Sargon's videos, you are a stalker and a harasser. And I was like, really? We're all stalkers, doxers, and harassers? Wow. So here's the article. Who's harassing whom? It is openly known that women on the internet are subject to far greater amounts and intensity of harassment and abuse than men. This pattern is a pervasive this is a pattern and it's pervasive. Okay, I need you to cite your sources because it all depends on where I'm at, but for the most part, I am treated well over the internet. But again, it all depends on where you're at. Like on Twitter, I'm treated very well, but then again, Twitter has a block button and a mute button, and unfortunately, not all websites have a block button. The smaller websites, the smaller, less popular websites with very few people, those websites do not have a block button. So it all depends on which websites you're using. I am treated differently depending where I'm at. For example, I'm treated well on Twitter, Crunchyroll.com. Crunchyroll is a place for anime fans where you could legally watch anime for free. But in certain places, I'm not treated so well. And these places are so small and so tiny that they aren't worth mentioning. Like, even though I have slightly over 300 subscribers, even I would make them more popular. That's just how small they are. They just have, like, I don't know, three regular people, three, five, eight regulars. So, they're so small and so tiny that the websites wouldn't even last long anyway. Running this event, we have to be aware when creators have potentially dangerous harassers or stalkers, and our list of our female creators is a whole lot longer than a list for male creators. You know, This is why we had a panel called Women Online featuring women who have had a variety kinds of abuse, from repeated sexual advances to stalking to years of targeted harassment. Okay, the problem is I have a problem with how Anita Sarkeesian defines harassment. Anita Sarkeesian defines saying delete this as harassment. Your average everyday person is not going to find a comment which says delete this as harassment. And this has been demonstrated by harmful opinions where he just showed himself saying delete this to Anita Sarkeesian in chats just for him to be permanently banned for harassing her. At most, you could say it's annoying because Christy Winters did the exact same thing to Crouton T, and Crouton T accused her of being autistic. So at most, Christy Winters proved that at most it's annoying, but I wouldn't call it harassment. At most, it's just an annoyance. Or another thing that Anita Sarkeesian calls abuse and harassment over the internet is saying Milo. and harmful opinions also demonstrates that's merely saying Milo to Anita is considered harassment. She also says being called a liar or being told you suck is considered harassment. I'm sorry, but I mean, the feminist community may agree with that, but I don't think that the wider population views that as harassment. And there are us women over the internet. There is me, roaming millennial, there's based mama, and it's like none of us really views that's as harassment. It is really silly to, view that as harassment. At most, it's annoying. It's annoying, but there is far better examples of harassments out there, like doxing a person's name, doxing a person's location, you know, creating multiple accounts to talk to a person who blocked you. A person blocked you because they want nothing to do with you. They told you to leave them alone. And you create accounts after accounts after accounts to pester a person, but it's merely saying you're a liar. That is not harassment. There is a fairly prominent genre of social political commentary on the internet that focuses on specific individuals as opposed to attack ideas and build outrage. These creators do not violate harassment policies, but the result is often that the vitriol of their followers ends up focused not on the ideas, but on the people, usually women. Okay, so you are going to blame Sargon for what his audience does, which is really stupid. In his videos, Sargon Vakad says, do not contact these people. Now, to be fair to the other side, because I have been listening to the other side, Sargon does contact the people he does say not to contact, like Jess Phillips, I wouldn't even rape you. And, the ranting feminist has pointed out that during the Starbucks situation, where he took a picture of a woman at Starbucks saying that she's a feminist or supports feminism, how all of his fans started attacking her. Which I mean, Sargon already apologized, and he already scolded his fans. He already told his fans how disappointed he is in them. He already gave his fans a really good scolding. So I don't really see why hold on to that. Many people in these communities end up believing the righteous thing to do is threaten, harass, and dox the thinkers they're arguing with. Okay, when has Sargon of Akkad threatened, harassed, or doxed Anita Sarkeesian? I mean, really, when has he has ever done these things? It's nice to know that I've been watching Sargon of Akkad for a year or two, and he's a doxer and a harasser, and he threatens people, and I never saw it. Whether or not this is an intentional strategy to cultivate harassment, doubt it, or an awful side effect, the result is some of the worst discourse and most intense harassments on the internet. This year we had a contingent of attendees, some who paid, um, some blah blah blah, who have either perpetrators of this harassment or had for years watched as the outrage they have cultivated resulted in followers doxing, harassing, intimidating, and even threatening the lives of the creators of this panel. Again, how is Sargon VidCon responsible for his fans? The only thing he could do is tell his fans not to do something and lead by example. That is a point that the ranting feminist brought up, that I would listen to, but at the exact same time, he is not responsible for doxing, harassing, and imitating or threatening Anita Sarkeesian. I mean, he hasn't done any of that, but at most with his fans, he could lead by example. That's all he could really do, you know. But other than that, I just don't really see it. It's just difficult to imagine that this group of people who are aware of their channels have been base camps for years of harassment of some of their panelists. Now, to be fair, I haven't seen all of their videos. I mean, I know who some of them are. I know that David Cullen was there. I know that Base Mama was there. I think Chris Reagan was there. Let's see. Failure Accomplished, Vernaculus, Andy Worski. There were quite a few people there, and I can't say that I've seen each and every single last one of their videos. So I don't know what they said, or how it's been interpreted. So I really haven't seen all of their videos, so I can't say. And I don't know what they do to their audience. Like, I don't know if they tell their audience, do not contact these people, and I do not know whether or not they lead by example. Because even if you tell your audience not to do something, if you take to Twitter, and if you make contacts with them, and if you are really aggressive and hostile, and then your fans follow suit, you know, um, if your fans follow what they see you do on Twitter, then I could kind of see the other side points of view. And again, the reason why I do this is because I don't think either side considers how they seem from the outside looking in. I don't think the anti-feminist community pays much attention how they actually come across to outsiders, how they look like from the outside looking in, because there is a bit of an echo chamber and being surrounded by people who are just like you. And because of this echo chamber that's in the anti-feminist community, there is no, this is how I come across to people who are outside of the community. And to and that's why you also see people who hate both. There are people who hate the feminist community because they overreact to everything and they are on a blocking spree, but they do not like the anti-feminist community either. And so there are people who hate both because they can see how the anti-feminists look like for on the outside looking in, where it does seem like the anti-feminists do look to be mischievous, out to troll people, out to cause trouble, out to annoy people, especially when you like retweet a person with a hostile response, and then all of your fans descend on a person, and a person is talking to you, but because you keep retweeting them when you respond to them, and then you have like 1 million followers, or if you have like several thousand followers and all of your fans are descending upon them, it could be too much for one person. It's kind of a lot like merely talking to Curiosity and being tagged along with her in a thread. People didn't bother me because I'm an anti-feminist. People, pretty much ignored me because I'm an anti-feminist. They have no reason to bother me. But Curiosity has had to answer the exact same question for about 3 days. Like it was 3 days, and people, because she was tagged somewhere, like because the person did retweets her, she had to answer the exact same question multiple times for 3 days, even though she already answered it. I don't think people pay too much attention to how they come across over the internet. Let's see. Did not realize that their arriving early to fill up the three front rows of the panels was going to be intimidating. And like I said, um, in my previous video, I could kind of see where it's coming from a normal everyday person. Like, as a normal everyday person, if I just was sitting, at the very front and all of my haters are on the front row, I would, I would feel really uncomfortable and I would probably just walk out the stage. I'll be like, no, 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 this is making me feel very uncomfortable. However, she is a professional public speaker. She does do this for a living. She should know how to handle critics. Even Barack Obama knows how to handle his critics. The fact that she does this for a living and doesn't know how to do this, even though other people know how to handle their critics, to me, this is quite pathetic. In any case, it looks like intentional intimidation to most people in the attendance, and the panelists were understandably on the edge throughout the discussion. And, you know, I do think your normal, average layman could understand where Anita Sarkeesian is coming from. During the panel, a panelist called out to one of the audience members for being someone who has made her life very difficult, in which she didn't have to give him attention because he was a garbage human. I disagree with this. I mean, I really, really disagree with this because Sargon of Akkad himself said, do not contact this person. And I haven't even seen him bothering Anita Sarkeesian until she called him a garbage human. Until she called him a garbage human, I haven't really seen Sargon of Akkad even pay that much attention to him on to her on Twitter. She didn't have to give him attention. That is a really basic mistake. Always let your opponents make the first move. Always make always let your opponents make the first move and act accordingly. Look, we don't want our panelists to insult our audience members. E- Even when we completely understand that the comments exist in a much broader and pretty messed up context. And he doesn't go into details. And I think that the reason why he doesn't go into details, like why he doesn't get really explicit, like saying this video by Sargon, where Sargon said this in particular, is because he doesn't watch Sargon's videos. Even when people have said hateful things that everyone in our office disagree with, we have a policy, and it exists not to protect people at the show, but to protect people who have these conversations. And he basically apologizes to Anita Sarkeesian. Oh, and this is where it gets really good. Sorry, guys. I have allergies and my sinuses are acting up. But I'll still try to get through as much as this is possible. This is a difficult situation to build a policy to alleviate, but we ask that all of the people involved consider the power of our actions and statements both online and the real world. But on specific notes, if people attend VidCon to collect footage to later use in videos to criticize not just ideas, but focus the outrage of their followers on individuals, they will not be welcome back. So I had to agree with Mr. Repsion on this. It seems like Sargon of Akkad will not be welcome back. Mr. Repsion will not be welcome back. Vernaculus will not be welcome back. Computing Forever will not welcome back. There's a long list of people that will not be welcome back. And I would highly recommend that you watch Mr. Repsion take on this, because Mr. Repsion, he made amazing points. Mr. Repsion made amazing points that you should really listen to, because there are people who have been permanently banned from VidCon for less. You know, like Mr. Repsion, he brought up the good points that VidCon, they are really strict about this. They are really, really strict on who is welcome back and who's not welcome back. And to be permanently banned for less, I mean, wow. And Anita Sarkeesian gets away with this? I mean, to me, Anita Sarkeesian is a very privileged individual. She is very, very privileged. Sorry, sinuses. Because my sinuses are acting up, and this is going on for about 23 minutes. I'm gonna try to wrap this up. The only loophole I could see around this, given that Mr. Repsian did point out that VidCon is very strict when it comes to not welcoming people back. So there is a loophole, but it's a loophole that probably won't get taken into consideration. But it's where bigger YouTubers sponsor smaller YouTubers who wouldn't even be recognized by Anita Sarkeesian. I know that if I was there taking a footage, Anita Sarkeesian wouldn't even recognize me. She definitely wouldn't recognize me, because I am too small for her to take notice. Not to mention, it would be quite strange for her as a feminist, as a cis het white female, to yell at a bisexual black female. It's like, being bisexual, being black, you know, if she starts yelling and screaming at me, she would this would really make her look bad. This would really, really make her look really bad, especially since I'm usually very nice in my videos. So it's kind of a lot like if bigger YouTubers were to sponsor smaller YouTubers so that they could afford to go over there and take good footage of it. I highly doubt that Anita Sarkeesian would even recognize me. She should look at me, not notice me, not really care about me. And I wouldn't say anything to her. I would just record the video uploaded somewhere privately, and the videos would get taken that way, just, because I know that there were a lot of smaller people who probably wanted to go. So many smaller people who probably really wanted to go. But, we were really small, so we wouldn't be able to afford to go because we live in the other half of the country. But I mean, the loophole is there. It all depends on how much a person cares. That's or a person who lives nearby, a person who already lives nearby, who lives nearby could just go there, record it, upload it privately, that's the way they wouldn't have to deal with not being welcome back. There is always a loophole to everything. There's always a loophole to absolutely everything. Um, but that is based on how much people care about what Anita has to say. Um, But in the end, I do think that because the anti-feminist community are not aware of how they look like from the outside looking in, they probably have no idea what it seems like a bunch of trolls, white men, big, strong white men trolls in the front row, there, and they bothered, Anita Sarkeesian, maybe not they themselves, but their fans have. I don't think that the anti-feminist community pays too much attention how they look like from the outside looking in. Because as Computing Forever pointed out, not only Computing Forever, but I was in a live stream with Press of Queens, and we were also saying something along these lines that if there were a bunch of female critics, there criticizing Anita Sarkeesian, she wouldn't be hiding behind, I'm a woman over the internet, and this is proof of how white men do nothing but harassment over the internet. Look at all of these white men attacking me, but you have a non-threatening female, who knows how things would have been shaped differently if there were a bunch of women criticizing Anita instead, especially since it was a topic on how women over the internet suffer from men. It could the ties would be different. Things could have been different if there were just a bunch of women there. But who knows? Who knows? Um, Anyway, this has been Raina Michaelis. This has been my take on it. Sorry, allergies. My allergies have been really acting up a lot. So I'm really, really sorry about that. And let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? And for me, like I said, even though I'm an anti-feminist YouTuber, I do listen to the other side. It's kind of like how Philip DeFranco tries to show both sides. Philip DeFranco and me, a person who's really small, I also try to bring up both sides and try to look at things from a wide range of angles instead of one particular angle, and that's it. Anyway, this has been Ren Michaelis. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please share it everywhere. It really helps the channel out. Bye bye.